Hello, and welcome to Brand Clarity by Visions2images, where we focus on strategy and business development for entrepreneurs at all different levels through branding and digital marketing techniques. Susie Liberatore is the founder and art director of Visions2images Creative Services, LLC. For the last decade, she has personally been instrumental in bridging gaps between the global digital market and neighborhood locations for some of the biggest brands around. Growth is possible for even a single location with the right professional branding techniques and Susie's signature strategies of Visions2images. Stand out from your competitors and bring your visions to life while watching your sales skyrocket. Your host for this is Susie Liberatore, owner of Visions2images. Hello, everybody. Today on my podcast, I want to talk to you guys about the reasons why a business needs strong branding. As we know, I am so passionate about branding. So it's one of those things where I really enjoy branding. Branding's all around us every single day. Good branding can convert to sales and lead generation. It's a proven fact over and over again. Why do we need branding? Number one is strong branding increases target market. So when you're able to really have a strategy in place, it lets you identify and refine your core client profiles. And you can really target those people specifically. Knowing your target market allows you to really strike them, right? It allows them to get that connection and that personal feeling, right? So a lot of times when people do branding and or marketing, they want that connection. Think about the Super Bowl ads. We all love to watch those and we really and truly enjoy those. And the thing about that is, why do we enjoy that? Because it reaches their audience, right? It reaches the audience in a way where the ads can be fun, they can be humorous, they can be creative, they can be angry, they can be all of the things. They can even make us cry, right? I know there were some ads before that have made me cry. So when you can really dive in and hone in on what your audience is feeling after you identify your audience, that's when branding is the best and is the most efficient. Brand consistency equals improved client attraction. Boom, guys. That is my favorite one. That's number 2 on the list. So I always talk about brand consistency, and follow me for more information because I always talk about it. I'm going to talk about some name brands, right? So we have Panera, Coach, Apple, Burger King, like all of these different businesses that we attract and go to every single day, whether it's Children's Place, whatever you go to, they have branding, right? Just think about, even your water bill, your electric bill, all those people have brand consistency. You know, when you get a bill that you can already tell by the outside of the envelope what it's for. Right? That's brand consistency. We can identify it and we know that they can keep showing up over and over again. There's a commercial on Pandora that plays every single day when I'm in my car, and I literally can identify it even before I know this ad, right? I was able to identify what it was going to be about because their brand consistency was showing up in all of the places. How do you show that brand consistency? It's through website, it's through social media, it's through all of your marketing collateral, your email signature, even your customer service, any ads, everything needs to be consistent. And what does consistent mean? It means that people can identify it. You have the same color, the same fonts, the same logo, everything is consistent. So people in your audience can easily identify it because what happens is when they keep seeing it over and over and over again, it converts because it's a subliminal messaging. Brand consistency shows up, it converts. So number 3, our target client needs to be strong. It needs to be implemented with the branding and marketing strategies. So it's important to always know your audience, right? By just identifying that audience, you know their problems, you know their pain points, you know how to reach to them, and then it converts, right? A lot of times what happens is it takes things 2 to 3 times before people remember a brand, before they convert. Although it seems to be a little bit longer these days just because of the pandemic and all things that are going on. So it's important that brand consistency is always showing up. It's so people can remember it time and time and again. Hey, let's stop for just 1 second during this podcast episode. I know you're so excited to get back and listen, but I wanted to chat with you and talk about how we really work with businesses. What we really do is we dive in and we ask so many questions. We go through a series of questionnaires and extensive research to really help you get a clear, identifiable plan of action that needs to happen for your business. If you want to hear more about this, go to visions2images.com, click the contact us button, and we will be happy to set up a time to chat more. First impressions always count, right? So everything counts for your first impression, whether that is your logo, whether that is the social media, whether that is your website, Google My Business, all of those things. Like every little bit matters. And if you don't think that's true, just think about when you invest in a company, when you need your landscaping done, when you need your roof done, when you need all of these things done, what makes you decide in a factor of if you're going to hire them. A lot of times it's going to be, you don't go to the person who has a poorly designed logo and a poorly designed website and no reviews if you're going to hire someone for a roof, right? So it's a lot of those things where people need to invest in the development of that brand. So when you invest in that and people really start to see it, they understand, oh, they're really passionate about this and I love what they're doing. And they have so many great reviews and everything is consistent. Now, we don't always think that it's hard to identify that, right? We don't always think those things a lot of times. Whenever we're searching for things, let me tell you a story of what I'm kind of getting at. Whenever we search for something, let's say we need a chiropractor, right? So I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to search chiropractors near me. And I'm going to see all of these different chiropractors. What's going to happen is I'm going to look at their reviews. I'm going to look at their website and I'm going to look at their social media before I even hire them. And I did this for my roofing company. I did this for I had a gas leak. I needed a company. I did this for a plumbing company. I did this for a roofing company. I've done these for many businesses where I need to really invest in something big because I don't want somebody cheap to just fix my gas leak, right? So I see this and I know, oh, okay, they're really good. And they have a lot of great reviews and testimonials. It takes time to build this up. Absolutely. So if you're just starting off, don't get frustrated with what I'm telling you, but understand that if you want to get ahead now, it's important to have that first impression. It's important to let people in on all of this stuff before it's too late because they're going to go with somebody else. Now, you don't need the first Google ranking necessarily. You don't need all of the bells and the whistles, but you do need to have a clear strategy and a clear plan, right? We need to still show up. We need to still have a great website. We need to have a great logo, great testimonials, and a great social presence. That's what people look for when they're hiring, period. So it's those first impressions, because once they go to that website, believe it, they're going to go to all those other little things. It's a proven fact. Number 5, strong branding allows you to stand out in a crowd. So you want to be able to have a long-term strategy plan. It's focused towards your goals on how to reach your target audience and then convert them. The stronger and more specific it is, the more effective you'll be able to reach your audience, period. What is a strategy? Strategy is so important. It's not always the design end of things. It's coming up with campaigns. It's coming up with the voice. It's coming up with how you're going to get from X to Z, right? It's understanding, okay, here's our goals, here's our timeline, and here's what we need to accomplish and all of those things. It's almost like a marketing plan, but it's also a brand strategy plan because it allows the branding and everything to come together. Branding and marketing is words that kind of go together always, because without branding, marketing won't work. Without marketing, branding won't work, right? They kind of go together. So that's kind of that part. Number 6, introduce new products with confidence. A lot of times when people are branding, first and foremost, they always brand because they're launching new services, they're changing their mission, they're changing their products, they're changing their services, they're changing whatever it is, right? You have to introduce those products with confidence. If your brand is not top par, it's not going to likely convert, right? So we need to know that everything is built on promise, personality, and emotion. This goes back to the Super Bowl ads, right? We have these things that we really need to utilize in all of our marketing and branding. Logos, colors, fonts, graphics, sounds, voices, messaging. Any one of these elements can be combined, but it also helps to really stand out from your competition, right? My voice is on this podcast right now. People know my voice. They're not going to say, oh, I didn't get to talk to Susie. The voice wasn't the same. They're going to identify that very quickly, right? It's important. And when your messaging and your voice changes on your website, social media, and your clients are like, what happened? Or your prospective clients, they're like, what happened? I thought this was about XYZ. So it's important to have that strategy. And if you're going to change things, you kind of need to change it in a way calmly and slowly so that your audience isn't left confused. The biggest problem with all this is your audience cannot be confused. If your audience is confused, everything that you have just done goes out the window. Number 7, my last one, is branding is cost effective. A lot of times, yes, branding can cost thousands of dollars. Yes, absolutely. That's kind of where, people hire me one-to-one to do their implementation for them, to do their branding, to do their strategy, to do their website, to do all of these things that we kind of just talked about, right? But deeper than that is really understanding that it can be cost efficient. What I mean by that is every so often I do a branding workshop where all the DIYers, the people who have their brand established that need just a little bit of support, those type of people, they kind of come in to this workshop and they get strategies, tools. They get a live workshop with me. They get to ask me questions. They get some time with me. They get open hour email sessions with me. So they get all of these great benefits. And it's only $97 for a week, 1 week, $97. There's so many great benefits to it. So it doesn't even have to be expensive. If you're looking to just figure out what your messaging needs to be, if you're figuring out what your brand strategy needs to be, all those things that we kind of just talked about, if you don't know, then this could be the perfect opportunity for you. Instead of paying somebody $3,000 plus for branding and or website, right? So it's really understanding a lot of times what you need and how to get there. It's one of those things where you can ask those questions. You can figure out how to get from A to B, how to really identify these problems and utilize your branding so that it can bring you money. This promotion is only for a little while. Today is August 23rd and the doors are open. Our brand clarity workshop will be August 26th. So you have a little bit of time to sign up before the doors close and we do this workshop. We did this workshop back in June and it was incredible. There were about 10 people who signed up for it and it was an incredible journey and people were really able to get a lot of different things out there and really understand. So if you're looking for more information, click on a link in this bio and you'll be able to get more details on this promotion.